Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Environmental with Dandelion. We are your hosts, Ob and Court. And today on our podcast, we are going to give you a little bit of an update. Ob and I haven't had a podcast by ourselves for a while, and we've got a lot to say. So stay tuned.
Before we jump in, we have a goal of hitting 300 subscribers. If you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. It will help us out a lot. It'll be very exciting.
Oh, we actually do have a guest today. I forgot to mention. If you're not looking on the video, then definitely go check out the video. But this is my dog Goose.
Yeah.
He's feeling very clingy today. So
Courtney's going on a little road trip, so she's packing. He doesn't know that he's also going.
Yeah, if you have a dog, you know the struggles. So he's clingy today. But oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. So we were just chatting about how it's been over a year since Ob and I have done a podcast alone. We've been on, for the past year, plus some a little bit. We've been doing this interview series.
Yeah. I am obsessed with our interview series. I love every single person we've spoken with. Some that really stand out are like this is like a kind of a deep cut from last year, but Freddie Catlow of Plan Boo. I think we're gonna invite him back. Plan Boo is like really growing, but he talked to us about biochar, and I really did just immediately run out and get some, and I've been using it. It is fantastic. I'm sold. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Do you have
He
one
was
that
great,
stands
and he
out
was
for
such a
you?
dynamic guest as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting with him again for sure. Yeah, I mean, gosh, yeah, I don't know how we can list favorites, but it's just been an incredible process of kind of just seeing like the scope of all of the different people who are doing something positive for the environment, for people, whatever it may be, just in the name of sustainability. And it's been incredible.
Totally. We've learned about everything from investing to farming to soil health to freaking sustainable titanium. Remember we talked to Tazo? Like we fully went into that being like, I'm ready to grill this motherfucker. Like no, he had it down. We came away being like, that's amazing.
It's like, I guess we should buy titanium. I know. I mean, gosh, yeah, like green amendments, Maya, how to be a sustainable friggin' lobbyist. Like,
yeah, and Clean Water Action and celebrated 50 years and came on. Man, we talked to really cool people.
It's been incredible. Yeah. And I mean, gosh, yeah, we've just been very, very lucky to have been able to connect with all of these folks. And it's been on our mind a lot recently because we have this podcast, we are for the most part a digital marketing agency that exists sort of separately but connected. We recently started, well, not too recently, like maybe 6 months ago or so. We started our social hours, which are another way of connecting with folks. It's been a really cool process of just kind of like branching out.
Yeah, we have a really cool little ecosystem that we're building, and I'm excited. Yeah, it's funny. It's like, and we're a digital marketing agency, which we like. That's what we do for money, but what we do for our passion is this. And I something that like we've kind of set down is we also had Living Brand Directory, and we wanted to bring that into the Dandelion ecosystem, and we're still working on the best way to do that and to make it like simple for us and simple for the folks that want to be listed on the directory, because the way we were doing it before, like, was kind of not the most ideal for
Yeah.
us. So
We
yeah,
were operating it as like a totally separate entity, and of however many years ago when we started that, like two or three.
2020, we started
Yeah.
that like early, like right before COVID.
Ugh, yeah, that's crazy. So 3 years ago, yeah, that was sort of, we wanted that to perhaps be like a separate business, but now because we are branching Dandelion out in so many different ways, it makes perfect sense that that's kind of a just a branch on the
Yeah.
Dandelion or
Yeah, our directory,
tree.
like our little yeah, we're making a tree.
Or
Yeah.
it's a leaf on our dandelion sprig. What is that? What is the little
It's a well, dandelions have basil leaves. It's maybe like a poof on our a fluff on our puff. No,
Let's
no.
workshop that.
Yeah, we're
Workshop.
working on that. We're working on that. Yeah, so that's in the works,
Yeah.
but it's all been really cool, and we talk a lot about like we breezed right over our sustainability social hours, but we have them every single month. They're free to attend, but we don't have so many seats. I think like we had 20 for our last one, and they
Mhm.
were sold out before the even the week before
Mhm.
uh we had it. Um and half the people show up. I don't
Yeah.
know. It would be cool if more people showed up, but I think having a group of like was that, like maybe 10
Yeah.
total showed up.
Yeah.
um that
Yeah.
was really interactive. They're interactive, and they're for a conversation around a topic that business owners and founders and people working in this sustainability space, um, all sort of like struggle is not the right word, but all sort of like experience
Mm.
that we don't really get to talk about, um,
Yeah.
except for with each other. Like, we're very lucky because we have co-founder that we get to talk to each other about the shit that's going on for us and coming up for us as we're like going through this journey
Yeah.
of creating a business with a different mindset. Like, we're really building a business around positivity and building positivity into the world and leaving the world a better place. And we think businesses can do that. And that's also like stupidly challenging. Like, it's challenging. And there's a whole
It
lot of
is.
businesses out there doing it, but it's challenging and it's a
Mm.
bit lonely. So we wanted to build.
Right. Often when people hear that we have a business partnership, that's like the first thing that they say is like, "Oh, that's you must be so lucky." Like, because
Yeah.
everybody out there, or not everybody, of course, but like a lot of people that we run into are really going at it alone and are
Hmm.
fighting so hard to like, you know, push whatever it is that they're doing. They're likely business owners as well, but there's so many solopreneurs, and they always just express to us kind of how lucky that we are that we have
Hmm.
like somebody else that, yeah, is a sounding board totally. And yeah, that sort of connection, I guess, um is also what I find really beautiful about our social hours, because it kind of, I think, gives a space for folks who don't have that.
Yeah. And we're seeing that more and more.
Yeah.
We're having people join. We have one woman. Her name is Sharon. We also did a podcast with her a few months ago. She comes to all of them. Sharon, hi. We
Karen
love you.
Raymond, yes, Simple
Sharon Raymond.
Shoemaking, check her
Yep.
out, she's
She's
awesome.
wonderful. She's wonderful. She comes to everything. She's really involved. I'm hoping to have more people that want to attend on a consistent basis, because
Mhm.
if it's nice to see that familiar face and have these conversations with people who are there, that are just loyal and there and like ready to show up and like be fully attentive for a group, usually a group of women. I think we've had like maybe 3 men in the entire time we've been doing it.
Mhm.
Usually women entrepreneurs, which
Mhm.
I think is lovely. There's not a lot of spaces for women in this, uh, female entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Not there you could just talk and like actually express like hardships and challenges and get feedback that's not judgmental. It's not like,
Mhm.
and we have no agenda. Like not like literally, we don't really plan the
Literally,
agenda for the
we
meeting, but
don't.
also we have no like we're not trying to sell anything. Like the
Mm-mm.
goal is just to talk. Like show up if you want to chat and you want to hear like others,
Yeah.
we're just creating the space for folks to kind of show up as they are.
Yeah. And
Uh,
sometimes like
yeah,
we work through hard shit with people. And like this last one we really did. And
yeah,
it was about nonviolent communication and talking with people on the like quote unquote other side of difficult conversations. Um it got deep. It was absolutely wonderful. And really grateful for people who show up with openness and real questions and are ready to really go deep into them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that one in particular, because of the topic, I think just lended itself to, yeah, a really kind of just a real and deep conversation about
Yeah.
what's happening in the world right now and particularly in the States. um yeah, yeah, but it was remarkably vulnerable, and I think that was
Yeah.
really special. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was really, really, really nice.
And I mean it just continues to kind of show us that folks need a space like this, right? There aren't really a whole lot of spaces like this, or maybe they're talking about the same topics in other air in like other folks, but giving people the space to just like ask their very real questions, like talk about their lived experiences, and not have like one leader who is like speaking, the about the whole topic and kind of in control of the entire narrative. I think that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also really fun. It's really nice to hear. I mean, it got really vulnerable last time, but a lot of times we're just laughing. We had one on sustainable travel and we learned that, I think it was booking.com. We were like everybody was a lot of the people were in different countries, so we were all on booking.com and we were like, oh, what's your experience? Oh, maybe you need to clear your cache. Like we would just investigate stuff and have a lot of fun. And
Hmm.
yeah, every single one of them is different. And we
Yeah.
were saying yesterday, like I think they've all been successful. Like
Right.
they, yeah.
In their own ways, because they all do have very different purposes, and the types of folks that are interested in the topics vary significantly. But all in all, either people have come away learning something
Yeah.
or just having a good time for an hour. And
Yeah.
that's a win also. So,
Yeah, that's a win. With other business owners that they like haven't met, a lot of times we'll be like, "Hey, let's connect on LinkedIn. You can let's follow each other." And yeah, if you want to go to one of these, it's really simple. You can go to our website, dandelionbranding.com. Under resources, in our nav bar, you'll see like upcoming events.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep. Yeah, we've got them listed on Eventbrite for now, but definitely stay tuned because we'll be putting them out. We'll have more announcements for sure
Yeah.
in the not too distant future. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited because we have some really, really cool ones coming up. The next one is about talking to sustainability investors and then building like a fundraiser and a donor base. I love these because we get to call people in who are in all stages of this. People, most of the time when we have like a social hour, we get people who have been doing it for a couple of years, or people who are just getting started and they can talk to each other. And we build this kind of stuff for people. We build language for people. We build the fundraisers for people. So we have the experience also to come in and talk about it. And we end up looking at it on a lot of different lenses. And it also helps us be better at what we do when we're giving advice and helping people grow their businesses. So I'm super stoked for those.
I know.
And then
Yeah. And then dun,
you
dun,
want to tell them?
dun.
You want to tell them?
You okay, if you're
I
watching
want.
or listening, you're hearing this first, dude. We have not announced this in the slightest, really.
No.
I don't even, yeah. You want to say it at the same time? We're having a
We're having a conference.
woo conference. Yeah. We're making it bigger. We're going big. We're going big.
Yeah.
And we're gonna essentially want to make kind of a hybrid of sort of the two things that we've been building, right? Like EnvironMental podcast, where we bring in different entrepreneurs, different folks who are focused on sustainability in their industry, and then also have, one-on-one conversations, communicate, get in touch with people, and really create those connections. So that's our conference.
It's gonna happen in October.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called Unity and ESG,
Mm-hmm.
breaking out of your sustainability silo.
Boom. Yeah. That's the whole goal. It is in the name, right? Yeah. Bringing unity in ESG and bringing people together and really, I mean, I think the subtitle says it all, because that is the exact issue that we've been sort of referring to here, is that everybody's focused on sustainability in their singular way. And there's not a whole lot of like kind of, I don't know, interdisciplinary or like cross industry connections.
No, there's not. And I think that's partly how we got to where we are today. That's what's standard in business, is like you stay in your lane and that's what you do. And I think staying in your lane makes sense at, upper level stuff, but we should be talking to each other. We should be planning together to save the world. Like every sustainability person we talk to, which is a lot. We talk to a lot of people, and not just in EnvironMental, but Courtney and I both take calls with business owners on a very regularly, where we just talk to them about what their goals are and how they want to grow. Like not even sales calls, we just talk, because for us growing sustainability is important and we want to help. Like, yeah, if a business owner is like, I want help with marketing, we're going to be there and we're going to show up. But also, like, we've just been doing this for long enough where we can help people talk. Wow, we can help people decide and make big decisions on where their businesses are going.
Yeah.
And that is important, because if we're going to like save the planet, we need people who are business focused to be at the forefront of that. I think.
Yeah. I mean, creating a sustainable future means rethinking every system essentially that's currently in place. So we need people from all over, every aspect of the world, who are equally as dedicated and, creating these new supply chains. Like, we're not necessarily like advocating for like a revolution in terms of like, like we're not saying like anti-capitalism or anything like that. Like, no, we're still working within our current systems, just making it better for the planet, better for people, better for every living creature on this planet. And it's possible. It's absolutely possible. And we're up against just essentially a lot of greed. And we need
And a lot of
But
like old unchanging systems, like people
yeah,
are afraid to change. Even those of us, like myself included, who, you know, I don't want to change the things I like. I don't want to. And sometimes I'm scared to change the things that I don't like. And
yeah.
like I'm in my brain and in my heart very pro change. I'm somebody that's like, you know what? Capitalism, burn it down. I'm cool with that. But like in my
Yes,
heart, I
yes,
feel that way. I know Courtney
yes,
does too.
yes.
But it's not realistic. Um we're not crunchy enough and we have enough experience to know that like that's not the way we need to move. It doesn't it makes a lot more enemies than it does
Yeah,
friends.
right.
And that doesn't work when you're trying to make a collaborative experience to save this world. And by world, I mean us. Like, it's humans.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
extincting ourselves.
Yes, right. The world will be fine and will heal itself, certainly. But yeah, humanity may not. I suppose that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, both of us individually are definitely like burn it down, start over for sure as individuals. But we recognize that, yeah, I mean, creating systemic change at this time does mean working within the system that we are
Yeah.
hoping to
Which
change.
is kind of ugly, right? Like,
Oh, it's not easy. Absolutely. Yeah.
no, because you want to create a collaborative space like over here all together that is all working towards saving the world and getting business and growing a sustainable company. And then on the other hand, you have like people that don't care, businesses that don't care, fast fashion and fossil fuels that are just like, keep going, grow bigger, get more, make more money, make plastic bottles, right? Um, and you still have to compete against that other side in this very ugly way.
Yeah.
And so we have to kind of push in my brain I see it like blowing up a balloon from inside of another balloon. I don't know if you've ever like seen that.
I have seen it, but okay. I'm interested in this
Like
analogy.
we have a balloon which is just kind of like a stasis of what's happening. It is the society, it is the, let's just use that big balloon as, the Shells, the Coca-Colas, the Nestle's, these very
Status quo,
large,
if you
the
will.
status quo of
Okay.
like, we're just ruining the planet and not caring. And the way that I envision our role and the role of business is kind of blowing that balloon up inside of it
Mm-hmm.
to make that space smaller for those companies that aren't doing the work, that aren't
Mm-hmm.
solving the problem. And because there's no way we're ever going to get out of that balloon until we completely fill it up and then expand it from the inside.
Uh-huh. Did you hear that somewhere, that analogy? Because that's beautiful. That is
No, I
absolutely,
just made that up.
yeah, no,
That's
that's
literally what I think of the
fantastic.
green.
That makes a lot of sense. Totally. Because I mean, that is essentially the way that you can make change actually happen, right? It's like you're
Yeah.
you're working within limitations only at first until it catches on enough, until it's big
Yeah.
enough
Until it's like
to until
pushing.
that outer layer pops,
Yeah.
but then you're still intact inside.
Yeah.
You've already established your systems. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And right, when what comes with that is like you were working in these bounds, it doesn't remove the boundaries from you when you pop that system. Like if we blow up capitalism right now and just like go into complete anarchy, you know what's going to happen? The same damn thing. Like we're still dealing
Yeah.
with the same power struggle. We're still gonna deal with all of the like horrible isms that exist
Yeah.
in our society right now because those are ingrained things. But
Yeah.
when we have that as a container and then we're just like giving it less and less space, it will take time, but it will go away.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. Whew. So yeah, that's our theory for our conference, Unity and ESG. We
Yeah.
got. I mean, yeah. There are so many conferences out there that are just for like like industry specific or like so niche.
Yeah. Which is great because that
Yeah.
allows you to go deeper. I think going deeper is really important. Every issue has its own like insane amount of stuff you have to know.
Yeah.
But when we take each other into consideration, it allows you to, I guess, yeah, think outside of that, just like one deep silo is the only
Yeah.
word.
Literally a
She
silent.
breaks you out of your silo. Yeah.
um yeah. And yeah, I mean, and just seeing the options that are out there. I mean, like every type of job is something that
Mm-hmm.
this movement will also need, right? So like any type of career is something that can be made more sustainable or made like to focus on
Like done
sustainability in
better.
some way. Yeah, made better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. um I'm really excited. Yeah,
I'm
I'm really,
super
really
excited.
excited to
I'm
start
a
talking
little
about it.
scared. Yeah.
It's a big undertaking. Absolutely.
I think that like this week I realized the undertaking that we had because I got myself full, like, 20 tabs open and like making lists and getting myself like down a rabbit hole and being like, all right, I this is we're making it now. So this is it. But it's definitely a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in like tech figuring out, all the back end stuff for actually logistically making it work, but
Yeah.
feel very
Yeah.
confident that we'll be able to do that. Absolutely. We have quite the plan in place.
Yeah. We
So
do. And what I like about it that we haven't like said here, this is the first time we're talking about it, is that it's not just like you show up and you go to the conference. Like we're really creating a community space for people that buy tickets early and then go to the conference later. So it's literally a community like Facebook. I don't want to say it's not like Facebook, but you'll be able to have direct messages. You'll be
mhm,
able to like, see who the speakers are and see who the other members who have bought tickets are.
yeah.
And really we'll be able to communicate within the community about everything that's going on and really share. And that's something that I've never seen before, ever.
Not really. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that kind of a forum that
Yeah.
people have access to like beforehand and after. I mean, our goal is really for folks to make genuine connections,
Connection. Yeah.
like business connections, like there's going to be people you can absolutely like, collaborate with
Work with, collaborate with.
and learn
Yeah.
from. And
Hmm.
um so yeah, we really wanted it to be that kind of open space where people can have, create forum topics, comment, all of that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So
Share cool things.
yep.
It will be an echo chamber of sustainability, and it in like the best way is my hope for it. It's like let's all talk about an upcoming project or something really cool we saw, or just like, hey, I have a question about I'm trying to make fertilizer, and I'm hoping to have some people who are like soil experts. We're
Mm,
certainly going to invite them to be a speaker, but hopefully we have some that want to be members too. And then we can have a conversation if somebody's like, it's springtime and I want better soil. What should I do? That would be really cool.
right. Yeah, we want to give people the ability to pick the brains of the speakers
Yeah.
and the experts on those topics, definitely, and have access to, yeah, and so it doesn't feel as like like, yes, there will be speakers who are literally on the screen, but like, I don't know, a lot of other conferences feels like there's like a weird kind of hierarchy of like, I'm the
Mhm.
masses and those are like the people, like, you don't really
Yeah.
have like the opportunity to really connect with like
Yeah.
other speakers, or I don't know, it just kind of creates distance between the quote unquote experts and the people that are attending. And I really like to kind of create a more level playing field, um, where everyone feels like they could be part of the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you. That's missing from a lot of the conferences, and generally I think that's just missing.
Yeah.
Like, when do we yeah, like, why do I feel nervous to talk to somebody? I mean, I get nervous to talk when I'm going to talk to people, but I don't want to feel nervous just because I'm approaching somebody that is really good at what they do. I and think, like, I mean, fangirling is one thing, but there's another side of it of like, I don't deserve to get an answer, or like, who am I to ask these questions? Why does it matter?
Mhm.
I'm not a botanist, so why should I care about what's in the soil, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't, I want to break that wall and think like, no, I should care. I should just have that knowledge. I should just be able to understand what sustainability actually is. What does it look like to have an equitable future? What does degrowth in a way that doesn't collapse our economy look like, you know? Like, there are people out there that have those answers that we can study, but I'd like to also talk to and
Hmm.
feel like comfortable talking to and comfortable bringing them into a community where other people would like to hear them and ask them questions or just brainstorm together with them.
Hmm.
Man, I'm excited.
Yes, it is very exciting. So yeah, right now, kind of we're at the phase where we are reaching out to speakers, vetting folks to actually kind of participate with us in the conference itself. So if you are listening or watching and would be interested in that, then definitely get in touch with us. You like, should we drop the URL? Should we give them
Yeah.
a um so we will put the link to the conference in the description. It is esg-unity.com. And yeah, there we'll have the application if you are interested in being a speaker, and we'll also have the wait list if you are interested in attending. So yeah,
Oh
sign up.
man.
Yeah, it's coming. Wait, you already mentioned it's in October. So
Yeah.
it's later this year.
Yeah.
It'll all take place virtually. It'll all be via
Yep.
Zoom. Um, so yeah, once you have your ticket, you'll kind of have your login and you'll be able to access all of that forum space
Yeah.
and see kind of the upcoming events. And we're definitely going to be having a lot of speakers. Um, Still figuring out if it'll be one day or two, or
Yeah.
perhaps even more. We're playing that by ear.
Yeah. We're kind of gonna say, like, because we're 9 time zones apart, and
Hmm.
so is our entire like network is around the world. So we want to
Yeah.
make sure that in terms of like timing, it makes sense. And
Hmm.
I'd rather have shorter hours over multiple days
Yeah.
than of like communication than like a long hours, you know?
Yeah, and I think that also makes sense for working business people too, right? Like
Yeah.
less time over a few days versus like, yeah, don't go to work that day and watch this conference or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then right, depending on kind of yeah, our US based audience or our European based audience, yeah, maybe kind of chunking those out to happen in their more relevant time zones. We'll keep you
We're
updated.
working on it.
Yeah. Um, all of that is to say that yeah, we would love to have you. And I think it'll be a really, really cool opportunity just to
Hmm.
kind of learn what's out there, open your eyes to kind of other industries and how folks are really kind of innovating
Yeah.
things towards sustainability.
Yeah, like throughout hopefully lots of different sectors and
Yeah. Yeah, we want
yeah.
quite a broad variety, like
Yeah.
not unlike environmental podcasts
And
where it's
yeah.
folks from all over, literally every industry that you can think of. That's essentially how we want to represent it for the conference as well, is like a
Yeah.
really wide variety of folks so that it just, yeah, it covers the most amount of topics for folks who are interested. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can just and then it can be like a truly sustainable thing. I don't like when we're only like in sustainability if you're only talking about one issue because everything is connected. If you've been following us for a while or if you just want to go back and look at our earlier podcasts cuz before we did our interview series, we really started on like let's deep dive hard into issues,
Yeah.
issues because we needed to educate ourselves. And we basically learned that everything is connected and everything is a mess and everything has to change and it all comes back to humanity needing to do a better job of
Yeah.
working together with the
Yeah.
planet, each other.
Yeah. 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 We got to do it ourselves essentially because the powers that be are really good at doing it their way.
Their way ain't working.
I mean, it's working for their pockets, but it ain't working for
Yeah,
anybody else.
but
Yeah.
how relevant is your pocket when like your shoes are on fire or whatever? Like
Right. I mean, that's where that's like I just don't understand. As an like individually, I don't understand the endless greed that there's no, the limit does not exist. Like there's
yeah,
no, yeah. Um, and that's just something I cannot even conceptualize, but it is there. It's a
it's
thing.
there. It's it
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, oh, you're still going to be like worried about your profits yeah, when you have, one human left as your, like, I don't know, like, what are we doing here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's interesting how, economic growth and like environmental and like human health are like inversely correlated, like,
Yeah.
whoop, and
Yeah.
that was like
And
so it's we
yeah,
could get into
I
that
was
for
gonna just
days.
say that yeah, we could. The correlation v causation argument only works so long with that one. Like they're correlated. They're caught like an economic
Yeah.
growth is directly causing
Yeah.
environmental problems.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff out there being like, oh, like ice cream sales and criminality aren't connected. That's a literal like thing. It's like, when ice cream sales goes up, criminality also goes up. And it's like,
Summer
nah, bitch,
months, people are
it's a
outside.
summertime
Yeah.
and people are out of school. What?
Yeah. 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 No. That's interesting.
That's
That
like a
is an
really
interesting
classic one in the
correlation.
criminal justice world.
That's funny. But yeah, there's really no kind of arguing. I mean, I saw something recently that was like, remember that at the beginning of the pandemic, maybe like a month into it or something, they were like dolphins in Venice, in the canals of Venice, Italy. Like nature was healing because
Yeah,
humanity was like, low key
taking a
stop it
chill.
for a bit.
We should have like 1 month out of the year where people just like stay the fuck home and like don't do stuff
um
that like stay away from each other, stay away from stuff. Don't buy anything, don't go anywhere. Like we should do that. Like 1 month out of the year, I guarantee
Mhm.
you the whole world would change.
Everybody just stay inside, make sourdough bread, and do puzzles, and then the world heals.
Yeah, 1 month let's like it could even be like
That's
February.
funny. It could even be
Even
February.
short. February basically doesn't exist anyway. We could all just be inside and not and just not.
Well, yeah.
That's I'm gonna propose that to the UN.
It's not a bad idea though, but like, I mean, it's yeah, we'll just need to slow down. Um, yeah, there's yeah. It's a crazy time we're living in, certainly right now, but any little
Yeah.
glimmers of hope and community and connection, when yeah, it is a good thing. It's something to strive for,
Yeah.
something to look forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What else have we been up to, I suppose?
That's sort of all the things. I mean, there's so much going on. We have some
Yeah.
cool projects that we're working on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we love our clients as always. Absolutely. Uh,
Literally. That's our most consistent update is that we have clients that are just couldn't be better. They're awesome.
that is the benefit of running a business in the way that we do, not necessarily so focused on like hyper growth. Take any project that comes our way. It's like, no, we're quite, what's the best word to describe it? I guess like particular about the
Yeah.
folks who we want to work with. And they're also particular about who they want to work with too.
Yeah.
And when it's like a mutually beneficial relationship, and then it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, that's
Yeah,
essentially how
that's
we've
our goal.
chosen to run our business is
Yeah.
yeah, we're not, we've said this definitely time and time again, but we're not really like salespeople. We can do marketing all day long and set up
Yeah.
systems, and we are very technically savvy, but I don't want to push you to do anything you don't want to do.
No.
I don't want to make you feel anything.
Yeah, there's this like very I don't want to make you feel anything but good.
But good,
And there's
right, right.
yeah, there's this whole aspect of marketing and sales that like it was very I think it's very big still now, but in 2019 when we started, it was like I don't even know. It was like Wolf of Wall Street, get 'em, get 'em. That's the feeling that it was always like go out there and promise your shit and just get them. And I'm just,
Yeah,
we tried it. We tried it for a very short period of time. And we both ended up like in tears, feeling guilty.
yeah.
And we were just immediately like, no, we will not operate this way. We are building a company that we can operate in our own manner with, yeah.
Yeah. It just so it didn't sit in like integrity. Like we just didn't feel like we could, yeah, no. Right. It is unfortunate that we were just talking about this yesterday, that like marketing is such a, I don't like, it's just sketchy. It can be really sketchy. Like people promise the world and have really no intentions of actually fulfilling those promises,
No.
nor the skill set to actually do so, but they're just really good at making the promises at the beginning.
Yeah.
And
What were we saying? Like, I don't know how to be like that person that like shows up and promises and like gets like we're not going to show up and be like, I'm going to 10x your sales, because that's a lie, guys. That's a lie. Um, yeah, but it's a lie that works for people that want that are looking for that type of growth.
Right, right. When you're struggling, when your business is struggling, you're going to look to those types of promises and feel reassured by them. I get the logic, absolutely. But like in actual practice, I think that the majority of businesses, of small, mid-sized businesses who work with like marketing agencies that are all about those monetary promises get burnt,
They get
because
turned.
and then they also get blamed for the agency not reaching that goal. It'll be like, oh well, you didn't have our full fleet of services, or oh well, you didn't do these additional things. And it's
They get
never,
upsold.
yeah, you get upsold essentially.
And I'm
Yes,
not here to say that like we haven't said, if you follow our like there is
there's
a
truth to
time
it.
and a place. There's
Yes,
some
yes.
truth where it's like we give you 10 suggestions or 10 things, or we're holistic marketers. So we're the first people to tell you, we got to fix your website. you
Mm-hmm.
know if we don't fix your website, we can't have sales, we can't get you more sales. Like, it's not right, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That's real. But there is a
right.
level of like, if you don't do it all, we're gonna.
But I think that there are definitely agencies, rather than coming to you and saying, we have to fix your website first in order for this to be effective, they'll be like, well, you just came to us for ads, so I'm going to run ads. And then when it doesn't work, I'm going to blame it on your website. And it's like, maybe that should have been done the other
Yeah,
way. And that's how we approach it the other way,
yeah,
is
yeah,
solving the problems first
yeah,
before actually putting a huge budget behind like getting traffic and
yeah,
trying to get people to whatever it is, wherever your goal is.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
a lot of marketing agencies can be very, very like myopic and like singular in their
Hmm.
in their solutions that they provide, and they're just really good at
It's a bummer.
talking.
It's not just all marketing people. There's, developers and website builders, and we kind of operate in all of those because, again, we're holistic. Sometimes I feel like Dirk Gently when I talk about being holistic.
I don't know who that
That's
is.
that's a nerdy sci-fi reference.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know
that's
who
a
that
Douglas
is.
Adams book. It's a Douglas Adams book. It's also a really good TV show on Netflix. Highly recommended.
What
He's
are
a
what
holistic detective.
what's the show? Sorry.
Dirk Gently.
Oh,
Uh, there's like a whole, but if you look up Dirk Gently, you'll find it.
gentle, like gently, like gentle, gently. Wow. Okay. Never heard of it. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a
Cool.
holistic.
He's a holistic detective. And
Ah.
so when we're like, we're holistic marketers, every time I'm like, um, but yeah, so like we just got an email from a client that's like waiting in the wings to start a project with us because they want to have their tech suite set up, and they just got burned again by a developer because we don't I don't have the details on that yet. This is like breaking
Mm,
news, but it's like such a bummer when people like make these promises and can't deliver, and
mhm.
it's rampant.
Yeah.
It's rampant with digital anything really. And
Yeah.
there's no legislation around it.
No, it's such a like, yeah, the opaque, very opaque industry. Yeah, there are not a whole lot of people who are transparent about their work and like
Yeah.
don't promise the world. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's really
The fact
interesting.
that we give like an analytical report every month is kind of shocking to some of our clients. We've had other clients be like, I can't get my other like my SEO guy to give me a report.
Mm-hmm.
And we say, why? And they're like, well, they can't really. And I'm like, nope, every single tool runs reports. It'll even analyze it for you. Like, it is
Even if the
not.
tool doesn't give data, you can still collect it as a person who is focused on SEO. You should still know which metrics to track.
Those metrics, yeah, like we
Yeah.
could talk about this forever. This is what we do, but
Yeah.
yeah, that is a huge pet peeve of ours is like, how do we make quality sexier? Because w- that's what that's what we're pushing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always like the snazzy beautiful thing. um it's the slow roll that pays the bills next time, next year.
Yeah. I think that's just the nature of content marketing is that, it's not necessarily as direct of a sales channel or kind of sales strategy than other types of marketing
Okay,
in a
but
perceived way though, even though like
that's only a perception, right? I
right,
mean,
right. But like, and it's, yeah, it is, it's odd that, it's because it can, it's in sometimes some ways be indirect in how it is getting those sales. It's not like a
sure.
one-to-one relationship. um
But you know what? We can do more with content marketing in a year than most people can do with ads in 3 months.
yeah,
Like ads are expensive, and you're gonna blow your whole marketing budget in a short period of time and get nothing from it if you don't understand your data, your audiences, make sure your website is optimized. All of that is ads are a huge waste of money after that.
yeah, they definitely are, they definitely are. I mean, even if they are effective at bringing traffic, if you don't have a way to like harness their energy, like what are they supposed to do when they get to your website if they
Yeah.
don't maybe like make a purchase if you're e-com or whatever. um but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you, right, well, how are they supposed to stay engaged with your business? Or are they just going to go to your website and then be like, okay, then click away? Like, is that the
Yes, that's
goal of your
exactly
ad?
what
Like
it is.
that
Yeah.
is that's your goal? Because
Yeah, but then you're charged, right? You're
that is
charged for
money.
when
Yes.
somebody takes the action on the ad. But if they get to your site and you haven't done the content marketing, you don't have email, you don't have a way to hold their attention or get them to come back and do retention, you're screwed, man. You just
What,
wasted a bunch of money. That's
what are you
it. That's
doing? Yeah. What do you
yeah.
expect them to do in your website when they get there? Like,
Yeah, if
no.
I'm not
Yeah.
ready to purchase,
Hmm.
how am I going to come back? How are you going to get me back?
Yeah.
You know,
We should digress because we're getting into why content marketing is
this is a
important.
different podcast.
I just made a video recently about creating consistent content. I think I started it out by saying like, we feel very strongly about this topic. And it's
So
true.
you know, yeah.
This is our day in and day out. And
Yeah.
we hear these stories all the time of people that have been burned, but we also see the flip side of people who choose to not work with us and make decisions like singularly running ads or things like that, where it's just like, oh, I wish that we could tell you that was not a good idea. But like,
Can we
we don't
do
have,
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we
yeah,
usually say, I'm going to check in with you in 3 months and see what's working. Because
yeah,
you know what?
maybe,
We haven't heard it yet that it's working, but when we do, we're going to be like, hell yes. Get it. Good job.
right,
Go, go, go. But
we want it to work out for
we
you,
want it to
whatever it
work.
is that you're choosing to invest in. Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't yet seen that and been able to celebrate that with somebody, but
Yeah.
definitely yeah, we want to celebrate wins. And
you know yeah, I feel like the whole like run, you start a business now, you got to start ads, like that was such like a talking point back in 2019, like what you were saying. But somehow it's people are still doing that, like people I don't know who's out here recommending that as like a step in
can we
for
ask?
small to
There's
mid-sized businesses, like
yeah.
who, because like there are so many other things to really get down well first before you start paying for advertising for your business.
Yeah. And if you're
Online,
gonna
online
do
specifically, I
online,
guess. I don't mean
yeah,
like physical. Yeah, like
yeah.
that's, yeah.
If you're gonna do some sort of advertising, like I would never say I'm anti any tactic at all because I'm not. I think they all have a place and time.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna start with advertising, my thing is start with PR because with at a place that already has your audience as part of their audience or pay for
Mm.
influencers or something else. Don't go straight to Facebook ads. It's piss poor. Like it's not going to help you until you like really have it down. But
Yeah.
PR and like influencer stuff, that takes traffic to your website that can be really helpful and it can
Mhm.
help you gather data about what people who show up there care about, and
Yeah.
that's the most important thing for building a marketing
So
strategy,
helps
is understanding
credibility,
that.
man. When
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think, yeah, that's, I would say by far a better investment than putting money into Facebook and Instagram ads right now.
yep.
Um, yeah,
There's
absolutely.
enough companies doing that. Facebook ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads, Google ads. Like
Mhm.
unless you're trying to kill, a few thousand at least, maybe even 10,000, between like 10 and $100,000 a year,
Yeah.
miss it. Skip
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. You
Skip
don't
it.
need it in order to grow. It is not
No.
it's not a perfect answer. It is not, yeah, it's not the solution I think that people are hoping that it is.
Yeah.
Um,
We to be clear, we also learned that a hard lesson on ads. We've
yeah,
run ads,
we've absolutely
we've tried it
invested.
ourselves. Like we're
Mhm.
not recommending this because we're holistic marketers. We're recommending this because we have we have experienced it. Yeah.
Right. From our own business and also our clients' businesses. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, we've seen cases where ads have been effective,
Mhm.
but we far more often see the opposite.
Yeah.
That's why we have said opinion. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we start marketing our conference, we're probably not going to use ads, but stay tuned for some organic content that are
Yeah.
going. It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming soon. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
I'm
Yeah,
hopeful this comes out at the end of May, so I'm really hopeful that we're pushing it out more talks about this in June
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe starting ticket sales in like later on in June.
Mhm. That's our goal for now. Um,
Just like, let's just build a whole thing. We're so good at that. We're so good at being like, you know what? Let's build a whole new thing, man. All right, we can do that.
I mean, it always comes from really seeing a problem. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to solve a very real issue that everyone who works in sustainability is feeling.
Yep.
We got to get off our islands and we got to build a community of people who do
Yeah.
things, who have, similar mindset, similar ideas for how we can still grow and improve as a society,
Yep.
um, but do so without hurting people and the planet.
Yes.
Yep, that's the goal.
Yeah. That's literally the only goal. That's a
Hmm,
huge goal.
this is a big goal, yeah.
Yeah. But we're taking steps and
Yep.
we're gonna get there.
Yep. So check out in the description here.
We're gonna link the website.
Yes, check it
Yeah.
out. Just join the waiting list. No obligation at all, but if you join the email waiting list, that'll be the first place that we kind of make a lot of these announcements, and we likely will do some sort of kind of like an early bird discount or something on the ticket prices as well, for sure. So
Oh,
stay
that's exciting.
I made that shit up right now, but
Yeah.
we will do that. Absolutely.
We will do that. But
Stay tuned.
now I'm thinking about coupon codes. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, all things considered, I think it'll be a really positive thing. And
yeah,
I think it'll give people a lot of space to just, create connection, collaborate.
It's gonna be awesome.
Beautiful thing. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us. Please help us hit our 300 subscriber goal and subscribe.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next episode of EnvironMental with Dandelion. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Bye.